Hello everybody, this is the Doctor, and tonight Typical Manga Fan and I will be reviewing chapter 780 of One Piece, The Heart's Curse. And we open up with our newest entry in the adventures of Jinbei, first son of the sea. Apparently there are more sunken ruins underneath the ocean.
Yeah, with a lot of, are they sea kings? Or
I don't think they're sea kings, but they're at least sea kitties. Because we saw something like them, like right for Alabasta.
Yeah, so they're sleeping inside the gigantic building. Although they're pretty big themselves, so they're basically like sleeping inside like the hallways.
Yeah. And we see, we open up with the actual chapter proper, with Treble and Doflamingo pretty much standing right over Law, who's been just completely taken out.
Yeah.
So to his credit, he's still got a grip on his sword.
And this is a few minutes before, by the way. This
Yeah,
is before Luffy beats Bellamy.
Right around the same time it was happening, because you can tell because it got the little faded borders on the panels.
Yeah. Also says a few minutes before too.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So basically, yeah, Law's getting beat pretty bad. I feel bad for how much has Law been getting beaten up in this entire, like, ever since we've seen him, ever since the time skip, basically. Because he got like his heart squeezed out by Virgo like 20 times, and then he gets back, and then he's like he beats him, but then he goes here and he gets beat by Doflamingo and the Admiral, and he comes back and he's getting beat up again. Wow.
Yeah, but at least he's been able to score some revenge as we got along here, like when he took out Virgo.
Yeah, but Doflamingo's the bigger, obviously the big bad of the bunch, and yeah, it's pretty gruesome.
Yeah, and pretty much Doflamingo is just gloating about the fact that Luffy's not going to be showing up anytime soon to save him, since he doesn't have what it takes to go ahead and kill his own friend with Bellamy, and he pretty much just taunts.
I just like how he assumes that he's going to kill someone, but we all know in One Piece killing is very rare. See what you're saying?
Yeah, and pretty much he just he pretty much just taunts Law with the fact like you're born in White Town, like that hellish place White Town. From your early childhood, you had your future was shrouded in darkness. You met Corazon and you found your life lengthened. And yet you became his ghost. Despising me, you lived all these years only for your revenge.
Oh, I'd just like to note that on the front title page of this chapter, there's something on the left that said like Corazon's identity is going to be revealed. I didn't know what that meant. So.
I didn't catch that. I didn't catch it myself, so I had to take a look again. But he's just like, a truly worthless 13 years for you. I do pity you. And now you'll definitely die. Die a horrible death in vain. Well, since you're about to die anyway, how about you do something useful for a change, for old time's sake? You'll do your Op Fruit's ultimate skill on me, the immortality surgery, and then you die. In exchange, I'll grant you any one wish, anything you want. And Law
actually... Oh, sorry. You can go
I was saying, like, Law comes up with a great comeback at this one.
I gotta say though, there's an immortality surgery. What the frick?
That was explained way back in Corazon's flashback. It's like a big thing of the Op Fruit.
I don't remember that. That's why.
Well, it's like, remember we've talked about how Doflamingo has this thing about getting people to die for him.
Yeah.
That's where this first came up, because that's something the Op Fruit can do. Whoever eats it gets their power. Like, one thing they can do is give someone immortality in exchange for their own life. He planned on Corazon or someone else doing that for him. Okay. Like I said, Doflamingo has this thing about getting people to die for him.
Yeah, which actually is kind of scary, because now I think about it, even had Corazon never died, like it never betrayed everyone, he would have still had Corazon die. Quite
possibly, or at least he found some schmuck to do it. Anyway,
but remember he wanted Corazon to get it, so
yeah,
that's actually a pretty crazy implication there. Yeah. So anyway,
like I said, Law comes back with a great comeback to Doflamingo's taunting, like, anything. You really mean that? That's quite the offer. It'll work to both our benefits. Fine, I'm in. And like they're like, so you're actually gonna do it? Like, okay then, bring Corazon back to life right now and go lick the boots of every person in this country.
I like you had the balls to say that. That was awesome.
Yep, you're the one that doesn't understand what's going on, Doflamingo. The Straw Hat Pirates are a group that can make miracles happen. They won't be defeated by somebody like you, and you won't be getting Caesar back either. Your future's already bang.
You know what's so interesting? The first time we met Law, you remember what he did?
Flipped off, kid.
Yeah. I'll say this: if he dies, this is a way to go.
Oh yeah, defiant to the end.
My gosh, why are you killing off every awesome character in this series, Oda?
Well, like I said,
I hope he's not dead though. I mean, I hope he's still alive.
yeah, I don't think there's something going on here towards the end like that. We'll get into in just a bit.
Yeah.
And Doflamingo pretty much starts asking about the words on his jacket, Corazon.
Did we ever notice that before?
I think we did at some point.
Okay.
Like, just and the name of your crew, the Heart Pirates. Just what are you trying to get at? What was that all about? What was all that about? From someone like you who couldn't even sit on the heart seat for his gang, because he knows like his crew's all
I know
diamonds.
The diamonds, the
Pika for
heart.
spade.
Yeah, spade, yes. I know like Corazon was the last one, and Virgo was the first one. Yeah. I wonder why the Virgo was the heart one.
Well, he was probably because he was just the first one there, and then maybe Corazon came later. But
I know, but there's always a reason to give it to you. Like, is there a reason why you get specific like assignments to like the spade to like the deck of cards?
I don't know. Like part of it, I know like each group had their own like specialties, like spying or combat and things like that. So I don't know that might be part of it. But anyway, like
yes, so I'm like, what the hell does the heart do? Like what made Virgo the first one? You know, because that guy was heartless.
Yep. And Doflamingo is pretty much just like your curse ends here and now. Like just it's time to finish the deal with you. And then we leave them for a bit. We go back to where King Riku and everybody else is. They're getting ready to head back into town to help the injured. And pretty much Viola is just giving them like a rundown of what's going on here. Like Bellamy's down, Luffy won that, but Law lost the fight with Treble and Doflamingo.
Like Viola's being. Is it bad that Viola's being like 10 times more useful than Lava? Like she's relaying information, which is kind of a small thing, but it's also a very important thing. So like,
I mean, I know like she was like Usopp spotter during that shot with Sugar, for starters. I mean, she has a pretty good power for this sort of thing. Like she's not a combatant, but she is vital to what's going on, or at least she's very useful to what's going on.
Yeah, she had a weird introduction though, to say that.
Yeah, like salsa dancing with Sanji.
Yeah, that was just weird. I still can't put that together.
Yeah. Anyway, Luffy's entered the fight now, so he's pretty much entering it in here. He's pretty much throwing out like his heavy attacks right off the bat, like Gear, Third, Hockey, Infused, the Elephant Gun moves.
And then before that, he's like, basically, Doflamingo was like, how was Bellamy once I freed him? Did he gain that freedom that he wanted? Which is basically mocking Bellamy's resolve.
Yep.
Which is kind of mean.
And
we all knew that was going to happen.
And Luffy's pissed about that because he's perfectly aware that Doflamingo knew exactly what Bellamy would do.
Yeah.
Like, so he's just pissed at this point. He's just berserking.
And then he blocks Luffy's attack with his spider's web using the wires he has.
Yep. And then looks like Luffy actually gets over or gets through it, and it tries to hit him with a hawk Gatling.
Yeah. With the long hockey, by the way. Yeah. Because it's black. So.
Yep. Yep. Well, hawk in this case, like the red hawk used against Hody.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I don't remember much from the Hody part.
And that part, he actually like caught his hand on fire when he did it, but still. And then Doflamingo's acting his own attacks, like creating a string dense enough to act like a wave and capture him, but Luffy dodges that one. Right, and lands right in Law's blood.
Not a good place to land, I'll tell you that.
No.
And then, he's like, "Holy shit, what happened?" And his arm, because he notices the arm being gone. I'm surprised that Law's. Anyway, yeah, I'm surprised that like Law was able to last as long as he did. Probably because I don't know, maybe he was operating on himself while they were like talking to him or something.
Possibly.
But he basically is like. Luffy's all like, "Holy shit, what happened?" And then Doflamingo's like, "He's dead. It's pretty damn obvious, isn't it?" And he's like, "Well, he probably doesn't realize that he's in One Piece.
Yeah.
And we all know that dying in One Piece is really, really rare."
Yes.
And he's like, "You're lying." And he's like, "He sounded like he really trusted you."
Yeah.
And then we see basically a bird's eye view, a bird cage, and we realize that it's shrinking.
It's starting to close in.
Probably to kill anyone who's out inside.
Yeah, it's pretty much feeling like walls are closing in kind of thing.
Yep. Too bad R2D2 isn't here to help out. Anyway,
yeah, we're just stuck with C-3PO. Anyway, like, of course, in this case I kid because I do like C-3PO. All right. Anyway, I love Star Wars.
Yeah.
Anyway, yep. Yeah, he said you'd show us miracles. What miracles were, Straw Hat? Will you now? Hmm? And like, I don't think it'd be a problem if you'd be a problem even if we did fight, but come at us. It's time to end the games. And here's the part that kind of threw me off when I first read this chapter. Like, Luffy pretty much just charged in and attacks, and then you almost hear like hear a voice saying like, "Listen up, Straw Hat." And then
I
the
think
next
that's
page,
all.
yeah, but that's not what threw me off. Like, the next page is the end of the chapter. Like, when I first saw this, I thought maybe I wanted to maybe like this translator says I'd missed a page.
Oh.
So it took, yeah, but then, and also I just realized now like Luffy's reacting to it. So it's not like he's remembering something; he's hearing it right then and there. So I'm curious to see what that ended up being about.
Oh, it's probably lost somehow. Just like me, being the guy who can operate in his own body, he could have probably faked his death. It's pretty easy to do that.
Yeah.
He could probably like stop his heart. Like I know like the Flash can make his heart beat so fast that it actually makes it as if he flatlines. So I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure he could do something with this ability. Faking someone's death is something that I think a lot of people in One Piece can do.
Yeah.
It's not that big of
It just kind of threw me off the first time I read it because I didn't realize just what was going on right there.
Yeah, I thought that might be an extra page too, but it was one of those like I knew what was going on, but I was wondering if maybe there was like a last page that's like, oh wait, Law's not alive, but I guess we have to wait until next chapter to see.
Yeah.
Maybe not one. Law's not dead. That's what I want to say.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't think anyone's really worried about Law being actually dead at this point.
but yeah,
Nothing else. I imagine that's where Mancherio will probably end up coming in.
and not to mention that the hard powers are still waiting for the leader.
Exactly.
Yeah. They could have come really come in handy right about now.
Yeah. I wonder why Law left them out. Actually, come to think of it, like, is this because he considers this to be his fight only?
I don't think so because your crew is your family, so
Yeah.
it's one of those things where
I mean-
if you're an enemy of one family member, then you're an enemy of all the family members.
Yeah. At the same time, I think it might have been part of getting close to Caesar. Like, he had to leave them out for that part. But
Yeah. And then of course, then there's Nami and Chopper and everyone else just waiting out there, just on the ship. And Brook and
Yeah. and
what?
and fighting and or fleeing or possibly being captured by Big Mom.
Yeah, did they beat her yet?
We haven't checked in with them since that happened.
'Cause I think Brook beat her, right? Because he tricked her.
Well, no, you're thinking of Jola,
Oh, okay. I don't.
the artistic girl.
Big Mom. Oh, yeah, Big Mom. Isn't that the one of the four emperor?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, last we saw Sanji, Nami, Chopper, and Brook. They were basically being attacked by one of Big Mom's ships.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I remember that now.
And Sanji pretty much asked for permission to return fire when we last saw them.
Okay. I hope Oda remembers them.
Oda never forgets.
Yeah.
That's like a thing. Like, Oda never forgets.
Thank gosh about that. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, this is the man who slips Rayleigh in, like, volume 3.
Oh yeah. And he also made sure not to ever name the captain of the ship that Shanks and Buggy were on.
Yes.
Because it was Goldie Rogers.
Yep.
Roger.
Well, Gold, yeah. I never use Gold D Roger whenever I refer to Roger, like, at least like on sites and things, unless there's a specific reason to. I always say Gold Roger because it feels like I'm spoiling something when I say it like that.
Well, you know what? At this point, if you're reading this far in, if you look at this,
I understand that, but at the same time, like, it's such a big part of the myth story of this whole thing, and the actual characters haven't been given the full reveal yet. It still feels like we're spoiling something, and it gets mentioned so infrequently. So whenever I mention it, I would just say Gold Roger unless there's a specific reason to include the D. Like, it's a reference to, like, the fact that he is one, for example, or maybe in reference to Ace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just say Gold D because I don't know. Thankfully, his last name is not Locke, so that'd be weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or
but, yeah. I just feel like since that's his real name, I like to say it. And I feel like since we've revealed everything about him already, like and a lot of it about him, a lot of stuff about him. I feel like let's call him Gold D
Yep.
Rogers, but it doesn't really matter to me. Yeah. So next chapter will probably be, I guess, I hope, but maybe we'll be hearing about Lost saying, "Hey, I'm not actually dead," or something like that. Yeah.
Why are you naked? You don't keep your clothes when you die, stupid. I did. I was even wearing my weighted training clothes. I didn't even die in those. That line read, motherfucker.
That's the DBZ abridged reference for all you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, same series. Like, we get the things whenever we count down heroic lines. I need to remember if I check my video, see if we ever put an annotation for that. Anyway, all right. So, but at this point, there's not a whole like quite a bit is happening, but it's not like a. But it's mostly progressing. Like getting from it's one of those what I think of as getting from point A to B chapters. I think.
Yeah, pretty much.
But like I said, like unlike our review of Bleach just a little while ago, it actually is. You actually feel that it's progressing. Like Luffy tends to get like sidelined a lot before he can fight the big bad, but at the same time, here it's like it never feels out of place. Like it at least feels like it's working the way it's supposed to be.
And then there's the whole Law maybe dying thing, or maybe
Yeah.
he's faked his death. There's something big
Yeah.
happened, and it
Yeah.
all moved. And the fact is, even if this chapter was slow, we've also been getting a lot of chapters that weren't slow. Like fights
Yeah.
were being finished in one chapter.
Right. So I think.
Well, at least fights haven't even begun yet.
I mean, the only fight that took more than one chapter was Zoro and Pika, and that's Zoro.
And here's the thing about creativity: Luffy's just a guy who can stretch. Look how Oda has done with him. Like with all the different attacks he has.
Yep.
That's creativity.
And he will reuse attacks, and we've even seen the attacks used before work fine here.
Yeah.
So at the same time, if you, one thing you'll notice if you ever watch the Alabasta arc in full, is that, and the Arlong arc, is that in most of the fights in that arc, like Sanji and Zoro in particular, you see them using attacks that they used in their Arlong fights, and see them fail against Baroque works, and then they start whipping out new stuff.
Yeah, and not to mention, actually, Luffy beats Crocodile, and he beats Lucy the same way.
Kind of like it's a different
Gatling.
attack, but still kind of a Gatling attack. You're right about
Yeah,
that.
Gatling attack, but he screams hella hard, and they slam into the wall or the ceiling, and they just get pushed into that to the building, and they break through. And you see the guys just like already like I think getting like already unconscious before he even gets like blown out.
Yep.
That's insane, but it's done twice. But even the second time is still just as good.
Right, because like you said, it's the feeling behind it. Like you get the emotion behind it more than anything else.
It's not just the attacks; it's the emotion. Why can't people do that? Anyway, so.
Yeah, but like I said, so at this point, like I said, it's mostly a point A to B chapter. It's like that's how I think of these kinds of things. Like, not a lot of like in-depth stuff, but there is progression. Like we're moving along, we're getting ourselves into position for the big action.
Yep.
So there's not really much to gripe about here. So this review is going to end up being kind of short.
Yeah.
All right. But like I said, did you have anything else you wanted to add to that, or?
Nope. I'm pretty good.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to add a little quick thing here to wrap us up then. Anybody who watches this, throw something in the comments. Let us know. Do you think Law is dead? Do you think there's something else going on? Is Luffy actually remembering something, or is he hearing voices in his head? What's going on? What do you think is happening? In the meantime, like all videos we usually say at this point, like, comment, and subscribe. This has been a Doctor and Typical Manga Fan reviewing One Piece Chapter 780. Y'all have a good day.
Bye.